My name is Fahim Majid.
I'm Andrew Shackman.
Avery R. Young.
Jeremiah Holsabeth Spofford.
And I'm a director.
Director.
A librarian. No.
One of Floating Museum's missions is to transform the city of Chicago into a museum campus.
Thinking about the city as a network of all kinds of infrastructure, which can be rethought as a series of cultural platforms
that institutions and organizations and artists can leverage.
It's an idea that the art and the culture is in the city and not necessarily limited to the walls of institutions.
Last year, we put on an exhibition called River Assembly, where we floated a 100-foot barge down the Chicago River.
River Assembly presented a model for transforming the river into a space of cultural activation.
One of the most successful parts, I believe, was what happened at Bubbly Creek. The song circles that we did.
Oh, well, my daddy, I know he can stop the boom. And if you see my brother, tell him that
People within the neighborhood heard this choir practice, and people just kept coming.
I came, hey, boom.
We had a number of artists, organizations, and partnering institutions come with us on that journey.
We're really talking about floating as a way in which to engage space and actually using space as the material.
Well, the goal is to think about how you would transform that space, not just for us to make a gesture.
So we're working on moving from the river to floating on the train. We're doing a project called Cultural Transit Assembly.
We're in conversations with the Chicago Transit Authority to activate Chicago's Green Line.
But you could literally jump on the train for $2.50 and have a sort of museum experience.
There's different shows happening throughout the city. So there's a show that's popping up in Austin. There's a show in Garfield. There's an inflatable that's an exhibition. In trying to acknowledge people's roles and contributions to the development of Chicago, we need to acknowledge everybody. As we talked more and more about Jean-Paul Baptiste Saba, we began to notice, although there isn't much about him, there's even less about his Potawatomi wife, Kitahawa, who, without marrying, he would not have been able to trade and be a part of the Potawatomi tribe, which was really that union that allowed trade to happen and sustain and grow.
The true core of culture in any city is within its people.
Well, if you think about the CTA, it's not just a way to get from point A to point B, but it's also an observation machine. You look out the window, you survey the landscape, and hopefully there's an element of surprise with these projects where they pop up and you think, maybe I'll stop there.
In Garfield Park, which is one of the parks that we've been collaborating with for some time with various partners, including the Advisory Council and the West Side Cultural Arts Council, we kind of selected 3 sites within the park, about a block apart. And each of those sites is a field of signs, different colors, yellow, red, and blue. From a distance, they look like an installation as you're driving by. They're kind of massive and you see it and it draws you in. And then once you come in, it turns into an art gallery. So we worked with about 15 or so artists to create works specifically responding to the park.
Darkness all around, there's stars everything.
This is Sir Matt McCormick Place. This is a Green Line train to Harlem and Lake. This is 35th Bronzeville IIT.
With players and audience captured in sound, none of us feel so bad.
Doors closing.
You're so sweet, say could be the big piece. Curves and proportionate matches. And your words make my sense. minutes of spell. It serves me well, but I can tell there's 5 minutes left. Rest warm, that's normal.
Video actually of Megan singing on Chicago's L train recently that went viral. Take a look.
Hey, hey. I heard you say. 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 Hey, hey.
Such a mama rocking that baby. What? I'm like, I mean, as a mom who has rocked a baby Bjorn, like, I never looked that cool. Like, you have your baby wrapped up while you're like hitting those notes. That's some big notes on a train.